Stories in today's video. 1. How do I F18 tell my Jehovah Witness friend F18 that I'm not interested in her religion? 2. My BF left me and our 3-month son and now he wants to come back and I don't know if I should let him. 3. My 31F BF 30 meters questions every mundane little thing I do. Says his mum does it to try and catch him out on a lie, so I'm wondering if it's the same. 4. MOH 30F says she can't be happy for me. So me and my friend have been friends since we were in grade 6 and we have always been close, and TBH she's the most sweetest person I have ever met. She's so kind and warm towards everyone and I love her so much. However, recently I left my own religion, I was Muslim, and told her that I don't identify as a Muslim anymore. And ever since I told her that, she's been getting me into her own religion. I remember once she invited me to attend one of her Sunday morning meeting thingy, not sure what it's called, and it was online, so I said yes. I thought it was just gonna be a one-time special meeting, so that's why I said yes. But apparently, this happens every week and she asked me to come again a few times and I made up some random excuses. She always sends me websites about her religion and I just say thank you and that how I'm busy currently. I'm always open to other religions and learning about them, but I literally just left Islam and am kind of in a vulnerable state when it comes to religion, like IDK. If I even want to truly leave Islam, part of me is still confused about that. And TBH, I don't really like her religion. I'm sorry if this offends anyone, it's so strict. And one day she told me how one of the ladies in her religion goes through her phone often and looks through messages and photos, and how once she found some curse words that her friend sent her and so the lady took her phone away for a whole week. Who does that? It's so wrong how she took her phone without her permission, and looked through all her stuff and took it away for a whole week. So I told her one day that for now I just wanna be chill and relaxed and not worry about any religion right now because I'm not sure, and she was understanding of it, but I could tell that she seemed a bit upset by it, which makes me worried. I just don't know if I did the right thing and I don't know how to politely explain to her that I don't want to be a Jehovah Witness. Hey, I'm 26, he is 29 and we've been together for about 5 years. We both wanted to have a baby and it was a joint decision. 6 months into my pregnancy he said that he was not ready to have a baby and was scared. I tried to reassure him but he said he wasn't ready and he left to go and stay with his parents for 2 nights and didn't contact me during that time. I think his parents talked him back into coming back and he came back and I was so relieved and he seemed a lot less worried. After I gave birth he wasn't really doing a lot to help and was just really down and miserable. I was really struggling with having to do everything for our son and was quite angry with him. Whenever I talked to him about this he admitted he wasn't doing enough and said he would do more, but he didn't change at all really. About 2 weeks ago when I spoke to him about this he just got really angry at me and said that he didn't want to spend every minute at home being nagged by me. He then just packed a bag and left, literally just ignoring me when he was leaving. He sent me a text the next day apologizing for getting angry and that I was right to be having a go at him. He said that he was just not ready to be a father, that it was too much work and was not what he wanted. He said he was not coming back and that he didn't want to be involved with our son. He said that he was well aware of how bad his behavior was. He transferred me some money which was more than he would have been required to send through child support and said he would continue to do this. His parents didn't hear from him till over a week after he had left and they only heard what happened from me. But last night he just turned up at our flat having ignored all my texts and calls for about a week before. He was sorry about everything and that he was ready to step up and be a proper father. He apologized repeatedly and it did sound genuine. I was furious and told him to leave and that I didn't want him back as he had treated us so badly. He then said that although he had behaved awfully that I was being a bitch. He said that he had not been a proper father to our son but now I was the one stopping our son from having a father. I was even more angry at him now for this and he eventually left and told me to let him know when I had stopped being a bitch. He then turned up this morning and he apologized for calling me a bitch and apologized again for leaving and said it was unreasonable of him to expect me to forgive him and let him come back immediately. He said he was angry at himself for leaving and he was scared that he had wrecked our relationship forever. He told me that he loves me and that his time away has made him love me even more and he will do anything to come back. He asked if there was anything he could do to help and that he would do that and then leave and that he wanted to come around every day and help and that he hoped this would show me that he had changed and was serious. I got him to hoover and clean the kitchen, which he did, and then he spent about 10 minutes with our son and they both seemed happy, and then he left and said he would come back tomorrow. But I just don't know what to think or do, cause I am so angry with him, but I love him and I want him back and to step up. And today he seemed genuine and I just don't know. And I don't want to be a single mum. I really could have done with him helping, and I know that will get harder when mat leave ends. But I don't trust that he will keep acting that way and don't know if I ever could completely trust him again. He has just acted so awfully and I don't think I could ever forgive him. I just don't know how I will know for certain that he has changed. I don't know at all. What should I do? TLDR, my BF left me and our 3-month son, having done very little to help me and our son before, as he thought he wasn't ready to be a father. Now he wants to come back. I've told him I don't want that. He now wants to come and help every day and seems to have genuinely changed, but I don't trust he has and I'm not sure I could ever forgive him or trust him again. My BF notices every little mundane thing I do and points them out, both in person and through text when we're not together. At first I thought it was quite nice that he paid attention, but over time it's weirding me out a bit. I've told him this and he says he just likes to do it. But he's often talked about his mother doing it to him, on a much smaller scale, and says that it's because she's trying to catch him out on lies when she does it. It doesn't sound to me like she is, and I never thought he was doing that, but now I'm starting to wonder. Neither of us have ever cheated or anything and we don't even go out very often. It's stuff like this. I wake up and leave for work before he does. In the morning I sometimes have a toasted sandwich for breakfast. He sees the toasty maker open and says, "Oh, did you have a toasty this morning?" If I leave 5 minutes earlier for work, he says, "You left 5 minutes later today, didn't you?" If I get up for water, the loo in the night, he says, "I heard you get up in the night, did you need water or to go to the toilet?" When I'm off work he texts in the day asking if I've been out anywhere, had a bath, etc. If I say I'm popping to the corner shop, he asks why. This one isn't too bad, but I'd like to be able to pop there without having to explain, lol. And if I mention anything about my day he bombards me with questions. E.g. I text at lunch to ask how his day's going, normal question, and if I briefly mention I'm having a coffee, he will say, "What coffee is it? Was it store-bought? How much was it?" Every text of his has 3+ questions and many are very mundane. Like the kind of thing you wouldn't bother asking as it's not interesting at all. At first I thought I could deal with it, but since he made the comment about how his mum questions everything to try and catch him out on a lie, I haven't been able to stop wondering if that's what he's doing. His mum doesn't even sound as bad as him. E.g. he was cleaning out his car and she just casually asked what he was doing and he said that was her trying to catch him in a lie. I'd just like others' opinions on this, even if I'm just being super petty and ridiculous. TL Dr. BF questions every mundane thing I do and points them out. TLDR, my MOH's life isn't going the way she wants. After running away while camping to sulk, she told me she can't be happy for me and that she was having the worst time ever. After ignoring everyone for half the camping trip, she's pretending like nothing happened, thus hasn't apologized. How do I ask her to step down? I am 31F and my MOH is 30F. We have been best friends for 2 years, seeing each other often, once a week, even though we live 45 minutes apart. She lets me rant to her, I let her rant to me. Except it has been escalating since late last year. She is a very impulsive, angry, bitter person, she describes herself as such. As a result of her attitude, she has not had a relationship. She was having a lot of issues at her job at the time, she was burnt out and frustrated that she didn't have any influence on procedures, business decisions, or how people did their job. Whatever, some people have a death grip of control on everything. Note, she has been *assessed by many mental health professionals because she is convinced this is all a result of a mental illness, bipolar and borderline personality. Docs, psychiatrists, counselors, psychologists who all say she does not have a personality disorder or underlying mental illness, she just needs to make better choices, self-regulate emotions, and do DBT. She graduated therapy. I listened to her woes, gave my support as best I could without giving advice or pointing out what she should do. I just let her live her life the way she wanted. She was ragey about being chronically single, and wanted a boyfriend, but didn't want to date anyone who didn't have a good job with decent money, who would pay for dates and gas money if she had to travel. A bit of a pipe dream, but if that is her baseline I can't change it. She also wanted to quit her job, but wouldn't because she had been slowly digging her financial grave since summer 2020. She got into houseplants, and spent thousands in just a few months. Got behind on her bills. On her rent. Was borrowing crazy amounts of money from her parents to get by. Most of the Snapchats she sent me were her raging or crying about being broke, and then an hour later she would send a snap of something she just bought. This kept happening every single paycheck. Things escalated even further when I got engaged in January. She's my ride or die, of course she was going to be in it. All she had to do was buy a black maxi dress and I would pay for everything else. Her finances got worse and worse, even with getting thousands in bonuses from her job. She knew she needed a dress and refused to let me order one for her. By May I was getting worried. I sent her links for ones that were $24.99, but she wanted to try it on first. I sent her a link of a dress I had in my shopping cart ready to buy her, but she reiterated she will not wear something she hadn't tried on in store. Fine, whatever, you do you. Things came to a head in May when she rage quit her job. Just up and quit, walked out before doing her 2 weeks. They offered the job back, she didn't want it. They paid her out a nice chunk of money. She spent it all in the first week. And then proceeded the summer of unemployment and anger. She wouldn't apply for any jobs where you dealt with people, she wouldn't do any office work or anything with computers. She finally found 2 part-time jobs, but called in the first day for one of them. Needless to say, she drained the mommy bank and ran out of money very quickly by the beginning of July. All her bills are racked up so services were cut off. Owed rent. This was a long time coming. So she had to move home. She decided the best time to do this was the weekend we were having a wedding party camping trip even though she knew a month before she had to move back home. She originally told me she wasn't coming camping, but decided the morning we were leaving to *ck moving and come with. We had told her we would pay her way because she didn't have money. I was very nervous about this, because earlier in the week she ghosted the 3 sets of movers I helped her find because she didn't have anyone else to help. I was already miffed, but she came along. Everything is fine up until supper, where she got rage angry because we weren't setting up the site the way she liked. She was really rude about cooking supper, and I told her to hold on for a few while the barbecue heated up. After supper she stayed out by the fire for a bit but then went to bed at like 9:30 p.m. because she was tired. Woke up the next day and she was grouchy but we went to the beach and had a lovely time. We get back to the site and are just hanging out when my other friend asked about a houses my fiancé and I were looking at because we are moving cities, and we started talking about mortgages. MOH set down her plate of food and walked away from the site. After I realized it was not a bathroom trip, I went to look for her. She was sulking behind the service station. I asked her if she was okay and she just exploded. She told me she can't be happy for us, that she doesn't care that I'm getting married or moving or buying a house. That she's single as *ck and moving home so she doesn't want to hear anything about it. That she was having the worst time ever, that she hated being there, that she wanted to go home because this was an awful trip and she couldn't stand listening to us. That she can't tolerate our opinions on things, hates being asked about animals, and hated our dogs and is talking about our dogs. That the dogs being at the campsite is ruining it all. That we were annoying and she didn't want to be near us. She said some other *T too, but I stopped listening. I gave her the best comfort I could but when she told me she didn't want to come back to the site and wanted to sulk, I said okay and went back to the site. Everyone else got organized to go to the beach for sunset, the only thing I cared about doing, but we missed it because of her fit. When we got back she was sulking in the trailer. Told me to leave her alone to sulk, literally her words. Okay fine, whatever. After a few more trips into the trailer to check on her, she finally came out. For 5 minutes. One of the dogs gave a woof and she took off again. No one went after her this time. She eventually came back and stayed in the trailer ignoring attempts to talk to her. It made everything really awkward for everyone. We didn't want to get anything from inside the trailer so bowed out from s'mores and games. The next day she didn't speak to any of us. We walked on eggshells as she made disgruntled noises at our packing methods. On the way home, she didn't say anything either. When we dropped her off she said a quick thanks and ushered us off. Later that day she started Snapchatting me acting like nothing happened. Not acknowledging anything, and not responding when I messaged back about her snaps. It has been a week of the same thing. No apology, no acknowledgement. I really don't want someone who said those things without any remorse in my wedding, let alone at it. My fiancé, family and friends say to cut her out. And I agree, but I can't stand the idea of taking something else away from her. I do not want to hurt her feelings. I don't want to rock the boat, but I also cannot have someone behave like that at the wedding. It would be eternally *SSING and stressful. I am in a pickle. I know what I should do, ask her to step down, but I am freezing up about doing it. I really just want her to apologize, but I am not asking for one. If it isn't genuine and she says it just to give me some *SS pats, then it is no different than leaving it as is.